Hi everyone, good morning. Let us start with day 43 of our regular SAP FICO session. The topic that we'll be covering today is the procurement of asset. So, as we are already aware that we have done all the configuration that are required for the asset working, but the thing is we are not yet ready to create the asset, because when we create the asset purchase order we will require at least one asset to assign in that purchase order, right? So for that, let us work towards the prerequisites that are required to create the asset master. So for that, the first thing that we have to set up is the asset class, because every asset belongs to a asset class. Asset class is nothing but a group of similar kind of properties, that is the assets, right? Asset class is a group which holds similar nature of assets. Now, what are the prerequisites that are required to create the asset class? The prerequisites are account determination, screen layout, and number range. Within asset class, we create assets. Every asset is given a number, that is called number range. Now, when creating asset master, what are the fields that we have to populate in the master data, that is called screen layout? And about the account determination, when we post to an asset, what GL account will get hit, that is called account determination. So to create the asset, we need these three prerequisites. Let's go into the system and look at those. So the first thing that we'll be doing is we'll procuring a computer. So that's the reason I have created computer asset class, and for that we will first be looking into the prerequisites. The prerequisites is account determination. So let's go into SPRO menu, SAP reference IMG. Under the financial accounting, we have asset accounting, and asset accounting we have asset classes under the organization structure. So the first thing that we have under the asset class is specify account determination. So here RCI computers is the asset class that I have created. Next is the screen layout. It is just a code and description. Going back, designing the screen layout. So here also RCIC is RCI computer. This is also just a code and description. The next is defining the number range. RCI. RCII is my company code, right? So here I am designing number 01, which is starting from 10,000 until 19,999. Number range 01. Now, all these three parameters we will use when creating the asset class. Let's go into the asset class, and I have created RCI computers. Let's go to see the details of this. You see the account determination, screen layout. This is the base unit. Will measure the computers in pieces, and we have the number that are assigned over here. And we have to select the include asset in the inventory data, and we have to select no AUC or summary management of AUC. The reason is this is not an AUC asset. This is a complete asset. Computer is a complete asset that we are going to purchase from outside. So this is how you create the asset class. Now we have our asset class ready. Then we have to define the depreciation key. So the depreciation key is available under the depreciation. We have depreciation key. So before creating the depreciation key, we have to create the depreciation calculation methods. Depreciation key is nothing but the rule according to which the depreciation is calculated. So we'll be using the default base method. The base method is 0011, which is will derive the percentage of depreciation from the useful life. Okay, 0011, this is a standard calculation base method. Then we have the declining balance method. that in the declining balance method we will use 001, which is not relevant in our case because we are simply using, we are deriving the percentage from the useful life of the asset. Maximum amount method, we will not be using any maximum amount method. Define multi-level method, we will discuss about this when we discuss more in asset. The default that we'll be using the multi-level method is 001, which says the depreciation will start from the ordinary depreciation start date that we put in the asset master. Okay, so this is the multi-level method. Multi-level method. Let's go back. And the next one is the period control method. In the period control method also we will use 001, which is the standard. So as of now I want to remember that these four things, base method, declining method, multi-level method and period control method, they together form a depreciation key. Now let's go to design the depreciation key, wherein we will map all those calculation methods. Let's go. So I have created RCI useful life method, right? Because the percentage will be derived from the useful life. Here we have assigned all those four methods, that is base method, declining method, period control method and multi-level method. And we have said that this is ordinary depreciation, and the depreciation will start from the depreciation calculation start date that will put in the asset master also when creating the asset master. Next is the asset class. Asset class also is straight line method. This is not a declining balance method. And in the multiple shift we are saying to increase the depreciation and expired useful life when we use the same asset in the multiple shift. So this is the configuration that we done in the depreciation key. And we know the depreciation key means the rule according to which the depreciation is calculation, wherein we said that we will be using that we will be using straight line depreciation method, and the percentage will be derived from the useful life. And it is most important to remember that depreciation key has to be activated. If it is not activated, you see, for all the depreciation key which are there, the status is active. So we have active and inactive. So for our depreciation key that we design, also we have active status. And if we click here and we go here, we see all the methods are assigned over here. And if we double click, I see I have selected depreciation to the day. That means the depreciation will be calculated based on the number of days in a month. If a particular month has 31 days, the depreciation will be calculated for 31 days. Similarly, if any asset has, or if any month has 30 days, then the depreciation will be calculated for 30 days. That is the meaning of this particular check mark. Now we have created the asset class, we have the depreciation calculation rules. Now let's go to the next, defining the screen layout rule for depreciation area. Here we are saying that defining the screen layout rule for depreciation area that is available under the financial accounting, asset accounting, master data. Let's close this, let's close this, let's close this and go into the master data. We have the screen layout and define screen layout for depreciation areas. We already know that depreciation area is the different set of asset valuation criterias. The different set of asset valuation criterias. So here what we'll do is useful life. This particular, somewhere we have useful life. You have useful life. This useful life you have selected over here. That means we'll be allowed to default the useful life in the depreciation area. Let me show in the next step. Let me show in the next step. Determine depreciation areas in the asset class. So we have Determine depreciation areas in the asset class. Let us take where we have this function, where we have this function depreciation areas, and here we have determine depreciation areas in asset class. Here what we do is we provide the default parameters in the sense what is the depreciation key that is default, and we remove the deactivation checkbox. By default these checkboxes are selected, and then we have to come to this SPRO node, customizing node, and we have to deselect this. Okay, so that this particular asset class is activated for those depreciation areas 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have said that this is the depreciation key that we'll be using as a default for all this asset class. Next, the useful life, it would have been grayed out like this, and we will not be able to put this useful life, but depending on the last configuration that we did, it is not grayed out now, and we can put default life for this asset class. For the computers, we are saying the default life will be 5 years. And here we have this layout rules. The layout rules that we use is depreciation on the main asset number level. This is the standard SAP layout. Okay, we have done this. Now as we know that when we are posting to the asset, in the background there is a FI and asset accounting integration. That means when we post to the asset, the GL accounts are automatically determined and posted. So as of now we will require two GLs. One is for technical clearing GL. This technical clearing GL is mostly used in S4 HANA. This was not used or not necessary in ECC. We will discuss more about this when we are into asset accounting session. As of now, our target is to create one asset and then create a purchase order and post the asset receipt. So that's the reason I'm not explaining this technical clearing account in much detail as of now. But let us create those two GL accounts. One is the asset GL, the next is the technical clearing GL. FS slash NFS00. Here we can see the asset GL, that is 100 and 600, which is computers. I have created the computer GL, and the most important thing that you have to remember is here you have to choose the reconciliation account as asset because this belongs to asset. Next that we have is the technical clearing account. In the technical clearing account also, the most important thing that we have to choose is asset reconciliation account. Now we have to assign this technical clearing account in the configuration where we set the technical clearing account. Let's go into SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting, asset accounting, integration with the general ledger, and here we should be having define technical clearing account for integrated asset acquisition. And here we have that, and here I have set for my chart of account, this is the GL account, which is a technical clearing account. After doing this, now let us set up the asset GL. For that we use the transaction code AO90. This is a very famous transaction code. I want you to remember this. For my RCIG chart of account, for the account determination for computers, I want my asset GL to be this one. This is what I have set here. Now next, for area 1 and area 3, those two depreciation areas are posting in real time. Please watch the video where we have set up the chart of depreciation. So we have set the computer GL in both depreciation area 1 and depreciation area 3, which are posting in real time. Now we have set up the account determination as well. Now since we are going to procure via the procurement module, we need one as material group. We need one material group for asset. For that, let's go into the logistics general. in the logistic general, in the material master, key settings for key fields, and here we have the material groups. So I have created one material group for assets, that is RCI assets. Let's go back. And now in FINSA 30 there was one setting which was missing, underscore ledger slash n FINSC underscore ledger. This is also a very famous transaction codes in S4 HANA. Here the thing that was missing from our previous configuration was this currency conversion for currency type 30. So you see RCI, this particular line was missing. When I said if I have to convert to currency type 30, then I have to convert it from 10, that is the company code currency. So the value in group currency will be converted from company code currency with the exchange rate type M. And the translation date means the exchange rate that is valid on the posting date will be considered for this conversion. This is the setting that I have done as this was missing. Now next, also we have to create one legacy data segment in asset, that is in the T code FA underscore CMP. This is also one of the new T code in SAP S4 HANA. So here we have to create this legacy segment wherein I said that my migration date or the transfer date from legacy system to the new S4 HANA system is 31st of July. And I'm saying that my migration is still ongoing, but I will allow other posting by selecting this particular thing, that is ongoing. My migration is ongoing, but I will allow other postings such as creation of PO, procurement of assets, and so on. Next, the document type that I will be using for my migration is asset accounting, that is AA, asset posting. Next that we have to set is at the ledger level we have to set what is the current fiscal year. So if we put current fiscal year as 2025, the closed fiscal year itself will be 2024. And if we do in the leading ledger, automatically in the non-leading ledger this will be flown, so we don't have to put here manually. We only put in the 0L and the value will automatically come in the non-leading ledger, that is RR. RR is my representative ledger. You can watch the previous video where we have set the representative ledger. Let's go back. Now with this we are ready to create the asset. So these are all the prerequisites that are required to create the asset. So we have created one asset, as we know that the number range that we have given for asset is 10,000 to 19,999. So the first asset that got created is 10,000. Let us open this asset in transaction code AS03. The transaction code to create the asset is AS01. Okay. Now, as we already know, every asset is created under asset class. So this asset is created under RCI computer asset class. Every asset belongs to one company code, which is here. This asset belongs to this company code. Now, we have given the description over here. Account determination has automatically come. Next. Next, we have the cost center. Yeah, on this cost center that is assigned over here, the depreciation will get posted. Next is in the depreciation areas. Here we say for all those depreciation areas, we'll be using depreciation keys RCIU that we have designed, which is also coming by default from the asset class by the default setting. And we say that these all the four depreciation areas are not deactivated because this is not selected, means they are all activated for this asset, and the useful life that is coming by default is 5 years. And as you see, initially when we create the asset, the capitalize on date, first acquisition on date, and acquisition year, and here the depreciation start date, all these fields will be blank. When this will be filled, I will explain I'll explain. But as of now, when we create the asset, all those dates will be blank. Next is creating the PO. So let us see the attributes of PO. ME23N. ME23N. Now Let's display this PU and I will show you the attribute. The first thing that we put here is supplier, purchasing organization, purchasing group, and company code. After that, we after the header data is completed, we go into the item data. In the item data, the account assignment should be A. This is very important. This is very important. The account assignment should be A for asset. And then we do not give the material. We give the sort test, what we are purchasing. We give the quantity. We give the plant. We give the value. We give the delivery date and the storage location. All those details we're providing to the system. Okay. Next. When we give the account assignment as A, the system will ask for the account assignment, that is the asset number. System will ask the asset number, and for this asset number we have assigned the technical clearing account in the background, which is this particular GL account 100,620. So for this asset, what is the technical clearing account that we have assigned is 100,620. In S/4HANA, for all the assets, the asset GL will not be shown in the PO. Rather, the technical clearing account asset will GL account will be shown over here. Now, let us double click here or double click here in the asset, and we can display the asset master, and then we can check this asset class asset that we have given belongs to which asset class. Okay. Now. This is the main prerequisite from the asset PO, that is the asset that the account assignment should be A. In the account assignment, system will ask to provide the asset number. From the asset number, the technical clearing account will be derived. So this is the important setting in the PO. Next, we will post the MyCo, and here one more important thing that we have to look at is the GR non-valuated check mark. In the delivery tab, we have this GR non-valuated. This has to be not selected. Okay, this has to be not selected, so that when we post the goods receipt or the asset receipt, it will be capitalized. Otherwise it will not be capitalized. Remember, otherwise it will not be capitalized. And also one more thing that we have to remember is going into OME 9 in the asset, we see this is also not selected. So this is very important. In the PO, we should not select this, they are non-valuated, and at this place in the configuration level also it should not be selected. Next, OME 9, this transaction is OME 9, wherein we design the account assignment category. In the PO, we assign account assignment category A for procuring the assets. Remember this. Next, when we post the when we post the GRN, means asset receipt, the document type that comes is WE slash an OBS7. Let us check the characteristics of WE document type. WE document type has number range 50, and you see this number range 50 is already created right here. But since we are using alternative fiscal year variants in our India case, that is January to December and April to March. To tackle this, as you already know, that we have created one representative ledger, that is RR. So there will be a different number range of documents when we post asset accounting document to tackle with the ledger type RR. So for that also, for in the combination of RR document type WE, we have to assign one number range. For that, I have created this R5 number range. And let me explain one very important thing. This number range, which is assigned at 0L label, that is 50, cannot be same as the number range that is assigned in RR, our representative ledger. I mean, this number range and this number range cannot be matching because it will override. So we have to create another series of the number range over here and assign it in the configuration. Let's go SPRO, SAP reference IMG, and in the financial accounting, we should be having that in the here. Okay. Let us check where that is, not in the ledgers but in the documents. And here we have the document types, and here we have defined document types in a ledger. And ledger RR we already defined for 0L. Now we are defining for ledger RR for document type RE. The number in that we use is R5. So this is the important setting that we have to do. Now next, after doing this, one important thing that we have to see is for April to March fiscal year variant, we have to see whether the period has been set or not. For that, we have to go into the ledgers, and here we have the fiscal year and posting period, maintain fiscal year variant. Here simply we have to go and we have to check for V3 whether the period exists or not. So this is the period that I have maintained. Here what I have maintained is our month 4, that is April, is period number 1, May is period number 2. Similarly, next year January is period number 10, February period number 11, and March is period number 12. So this way we are following April to March in India. And here we say April there is no year set, but when we come to January, February, March, it is in the next year, and we have to consider this as present year. So I have done -1 to bring that year into this year, because April to March all falls in the current year. Okay, that is what the setting that we have done over here. Now let's do the GRN. The GRN entry we have to see very carefully, because there are a lot of things that we have to understand from the asset accounting perspective. I have opened the MIGO transaction code. I have opened MIGO transaction code and display, and let's put this. So this is the GRN documents. Let's observe the FI documents. You will see there are 3 accounting documents that will get posted. One is without ledger group, the next is ledger group 0L, and the next is ledger group RGA, which holds the representative ledger and the non-leading ledger. Next, for this RGA, you can see my earlier session where I have designed this representative ledger and set up the chart of depreciation. Let's go back to display the accounting document. You see the ledger group is blank. That means this particular accounting entry is ledger independent. Ledger group independent, not dependent upon any ledger. And at this place, this is at this place you see the technical clearing account is debited, and my GRIR account is credited. This is coming from WRX. This is coming from WRX setup in OBYC. Let's check the asset accounting view. If we check the asset accounting view, here we see for without ledger we have one entry, and for with ledger we have another entry, wherein we see the same GL that we saw in the entry view is here. Technical clearing account debit to GRIR, and then here we have at the ledger specific level we have asset account is debited and technical clearing account is credited. So in short, the technical clearing account is nullified by debit and credit, and ultimate entry is asset account debit to GRIR at the 0L level. Now also we should check at the local level. Let's see in the at the local level we have again the GL accounts are same, but here you see the ledger group is different, right? And let us check the next thing. The important thing that we have to observe over here is when we go in the ledger view for the posting date in August, for ledger 0L, you see the period number is 8, that is January to December. The period August will fall in period number 8. Let's choose another ledger. Here if we choose ledger RI, that is for India specific, we see the period number is 5, because August will fall in 5th period from April, May, June, July, August. That is the period number 5. So this is the functionality of ledger specific postings with the help of technical clearing account. So This is how we understand the end-to-end asset procurement cycle in SAP through the procurement module. So we understood to create the asset in sort, we need these all the configurations. These all the configuration. Without all this configuration, we cannot create the asset in asset accounting. And in specific to purchase the asset via PO, we need a material group. This is the important thing. And we need to set ledger specific accounting document number range, that we did over here. And then when posted GRN, we saw that for the local ledger the period was 5, for the IFRS ledger the period was 8, depending upon the fiscal year variant that we have in our case. We also saw one very important thing, that we can only select the default life in the depreciation area only when we do this particular setting. Otherwise we will not be able to put the default life in the asset class level. With this, now I hope this process is pretty much clear to you, along with the journal entries, all the prerequisites, configuration that are required, and all everything. Today I am closing the next in the next session. Since we have done all the procurements, now we have procured the raw materials, we have procured the services, we have procured the assets. In the next session we will start with product costing. I'm closing for the day. Thank you.